employee or a former Nike employee who is making the rounds with a video that is now circulating the internet, talking about the situation involving Nike, Caitlin Clark, the slow play that they're doing, even doing so much to show how their stock is falling off the shelf. And let's talk about this video. You may have seen it by now. I'm going to show it to you again, but it's a former 15-year employee at Nike in the women's division, and
Caitlin Clark just turned the sneaker game on its head, dropping a bombshell that's shaking the industry to its core. In a move so bold it might have made LeBron double-check his contract, Adidas made a play that has Nike breaking a sweat under its iconic swoosh. Clark didn't just respond, she detonated a headline-grabbing surprise. Now, fans are spiraling, Twitter is in meltdown mode, and sneakerheads everywhere are rethinking everything. So what exactly did she say? Why is Nike in panic mode? And did Adidas just pull off the heist of the century? Buckle up. This story is about to get wild.
Big game for Caitlin, her returning to her alumni in Iowa and her hitting that massive logo 3, the logo 3 during the game that some of her sponsors would want to show her support on social media, do any sort of marketing to uplift her and uplift their brand. And one who did do that was Gatorade. They tweeted a photo of her and they said, "Real home court advantage. Welcome back to Iowa, Caitlin Clark." Now, one of her lead sponsors that was noticeably quiet yesterday was Nike. And a lot of people were tweeting about this. They were wondering, why isn't Nike and Nike basketball, why are none of their accounts saying anything about this? Yes, it's a preseason game, but this is a huge day for Caitlin. She's returning to her.
Caitlin Clark isn't just dishing out dimes on the court. She just served Nike a legal-level reality check without breaking a sweat. The iconic swoosh? Right now, it's looking less like a symbol of greatness and more like a check mark sliding into a PR disaster. Word is, Nike didn't just fumble, they flat out broke their end of the deal. That's right, the brand that defines sports endorsements is now ghosting one of its brightest rising stars like a bad Tinder date with commitment issues. And Clark? She brought the receipts.
Nike, we need to talk about Caitlin Clark. Let's you and me talk about Caitlin Clark, since you refuse to talk about Caitlin Clark. I care deeply about you. I spent over a decade in your marketing organization. I spent several years trying to get into your organization, and it's been 3 years since I left your company. I'm just here as a friend. I care about you. I want to show you two different charts here. One, your stock price since 2021. It is down nearly 60%. Your executives and the people who are making these decisions, their stock options are worthless. Meanwhile, you have the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and you have somehow convinced yourself that you need to slow play this. Let me show you Google Trends search traffic for 4 female basketball players. There is one who only rivals Caitlin Clark, and that is Angel Reese, and you do not have her. She is over.
Let's talk brass tacks. Caitlin Clark is the biggest name in women's basketball right now, and Nike treated her like a last-minute pickup from the clearance rack. You don't lowball a once-in-a-generation talent while rolling out red carpets for everyone else like they're the next Jordan. Especially not when Adidas is flexing with stacks of cash, doing power squats with $100 bills, and looking ready to bench press the entire women's sports industry. Nike didn't just miss, they might have handed their biggest rival the golden ticket.
How in the world is Nike not going full-on Caitlin Clark phenomenon? You've got the most popular women's athlete in the world. Do they still not have a Caitlin Clark shoe out? My mind is blown by this. The minute that she started playing in the WNBA, you should have rolled out for every little girl in America the Caitlin Clark ones. And that should have been the baddest ass women's tennis shoe that has ever.
And Adidas? Oh, they're not just watching. They're pouncing like a cat in a room full of laser pointers. The second Caitlin's camp even hinted at frustration with Nike, Adidas pulled up like, "Hey, we brought your own signature line, custom colorways, and an unlimited supply of something Nike forgot, actual respect." They didn't just send flowers, they delivered a full-blown sneaker bouquet, complete with branding, billboards, and a battalion of marketers ready to turn Caitlin Clark into the Taylor Swift of women's sports, and a gym packed with Swifties.
A lot of conversation has been made around Caitlin Clark, her signature shoe, the Nike deal, and with how much Nike has been dragging their behind, which how much Nike has been moseying to the finish line when it comes to pushing the Caitlin Clark button, fans started speculating maybe this deal isn't as official as we thought it was. We get no signature shoe, no news of a shoe all season long. We get no merchandise all season long. We get no commercial all.
Dump Nike, Caitlyn, dump them like a bad haircut before prom. You're not just a player, you're the moment. If Nike can't see that, hand them a mirror and a resignation letter, tucked neatly inside a perfectly arched step-back 3. Because here's the kicker, if you sign with Adidas, your shoe line won't just sell, it'll torch the charts. Wilson who? Exactly. Clark ones would outsell Wilson's line 10-1, and that's conservative. Kids would be scalping them on StockX before they even hit shelves. Middle schoolers would walk into homeroom like they're wearing holy relics. Grandmas? Back in line at Foot Locker like it's 1996 and the Air Jordans just dropped, Nike forgot who they're dealing with. Caitlin Clark isn't a novelty act. She's not a momentary marketing trend. She's the future of the league. And instead of building her an empire, they came through with the energy of a half-hearted wedding RSVP. Maybe. Big mistake, fans weren't having it. Hashtags flew. Threads exploded. NBA players threw shade. SportsCenter sources got suddenly very chatty. And let's talk about that Angel Reese promo image for a second. One photo? One? And that weird editorial vibe that screams 2010 reality show reunion special? What was that? Nike had the crown jewel of women's hoops in their hands, and they treated her like an afterthought. Meanwhile, Adidas is showing up like the suitor who actually read the invite and brought a gift. Caitlyn, it's time. Leave the swoosh behind. The future doesn't work maybe.
This Nike deal might be the worst endorsement deal in the history of professional sports. You guys remember this billboard that was put up in Iowa? Well, that's one of the last times that Nike has done anything for Caitlin Clark. They promoted her more in college than they have at all the entirety of the WNBA season. She signed an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike that also included her own signature shoe, which honestly, looking at it now, $28 million for 8 years is an absolute steal for this superstar, when a player like Wemby's Nike deal was rumored to be over $100 million. Caitlyn has not only had an incredible rookie season, but she has also transformed the WNBA.
Look, we're not saying Angel doesn't deserve attention, we're saying how did that become the primary representation of your rookie class. Meanwhile, Sophie, who let's be honest actually plays for the same team as Caitlyn and is unlike half the people in Nike ads a baller with stats, is mysteriously absent. Where's Sophie's moment? Where's the Fever 3-player spread with Caitlyn, Aaliyah Boston, and Sophie Cunningham all doing something fierce with lighting and attitude? Instead, we get one awkwardly cropped pic of Angel Reese standing like she's about to read someone for filth at the reunion episode of Basketball Queens WNBA edition. Sophie is out there draining shots, diving for rebounds, and playing for a team that is literally ground zero for this new women's basketball renaissance, and you forget she exists. That's not just a bad PR move, that's a PR face plant. It's like being handed Beyonce, Rihanna, and Adele for a halftime show and choosing Jason Derulo make it make sense. Meanwhile, Adidas would have made Sophie the new face of their training line, slapped her on a billboard, and let her throw shoes into the crowd after every game like candy at a parade. The contrast is embarrassing. Let's rewind to the shoe war because it's about to get brutal. Imagine this: Adidas drops the Clark 1 Fire Edition. They sell out in 3 minutes. Kids cry in the parking lot. Grown men fight over toddler sizes.
She feels as though that this Nike deal has been racially motivated. She believes that there's a disparity in how Nike is prioritizing and rewarding athletes like Caitlin Clark. And it's just, she's saying that athletes like Caitlin Clark are getting the better deals compared to other athletes, especially women of color. She additionally expressed her frustration through social media in her podcast, The Reese Life, suggesting that Nike was not treating all WNBA players